We're back.
About time.
It's about time. About stinking time. Welcome back to the Dump and Chase podcast. I'm not dumping. He's still not Chase.
Believe it or not,
yeah,
it hasn't changed.
changed.
No legal name changes have happened.
No,
yet.
But if we hit 1 million subscribers in a week, he'll change his name.
2 million.
Oh, okay. It's a little risky with one. I understand what you're saying. No mini sticks this time. We've had a lot happen in our lives since the last episode, so
Just a tad.
we know where the mini sticks are, but they are not accessible today at the moment. So
Next time.
next time, exactly. So we've what's it been since our last episode? Was it 2022?
2022.
Fall 2022.
I believe it was October of 2022.
Yeah, that's right. Because we started at the same school together, and we thought, oh, we'll have all this time to record, and yeah, well, that happened.
That was funny.
That went over like a lead balloon. But we're back, and don't know for how long, but hopefully we just keep recording, and it'll be fun because we love doing it. But real life does get in the way. You may have noticed that the production value has been upped. We have one camera. I'm pointing at the other one, 2 cameras. We might switch to 3. I don't know, but. Since finishing school, I've started doing full-time videography, so hence all the big production quality here. I say big production quality. It's a couple of cameras and some lights and upgraded mics.
We don't have to sit beside each other on a couch anymore.
That's true.
I have elbow room.
Look at that. We're not like practically on top of each other anymore. We didn't enjoy that very much, but so we're back. Here to talk about some more hockey. We both got married since
Surprise!
Yeah, we both got married since we did our last episode. You just started dating by the time we did our last episode.
Yep, I had been dating for about 2 months.
Nice. But now this May I'll be married for a year, and this May,
Same thing.
End of May, you'll be married for a year because we got married in the same month. We were at each other's wedding parties, so that was kind of fun. Actually just signed a bunch of pictures of me at his wedding. That was a joke that became reality. So hand-signed photos from Not Dump, I guess.
Make him famous so I can sell mine.
Yeah. I'm taking it back from you if that's the case. Awesome. Should we just jump right into it? Unless there's anything else you wanted to touch on?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I don't have anything else.
Oh, I should reference my notes here. Why don't you start us off?
Well, we want to start off with a bang. So we've got big news.
Yeah.
Jesse Puljujarvi has had his contract terminated yet again by the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Earth-shattering news right here.
That man, between him and Nail Yakupov, the Oilers, top 3 draft picks, just...
In the toilet.
Why?
I'd like to think it's an organization issue.
But let's look at it this way.
Our other totally was.
Yes,
that was an organization
This
failure.
wasn't, first of all.
No.
It was a player failure. And second of all, our other option would have been Dubois. And that hasn't exactly worked out incredibly either.
Would have been better than Puljujarvi.
Would it have been?
Probably.
Dubois already been on how many teams, though?
Yeah, I know, but at least he has a steady NHL job.
Yeah, fair enough.
He makes a decent bit, too. So, yeah. I mean, good for him. He's accomplished what he wants to, I guess.
It's true.
Make money. If that's his goal, then he's done it. Getting money from teams. So yeah, Puljujarvi's contract terminated. I would say much to no one's surprise.
Yep. I don't know why he still has a job, to be totally honest, but...
Why he's not a KHLer, you mean?
Yeah.
That's probably next stop for him.
You know what, though?
Or retirement.
Good
you think
news
he'd
for
retire
him.
or go to the KHL?
He'd go to the KHL.
Probably. How old is he? Can't be that old.
I think he was 2016 draft. Because I think he was the year after McDavid. So that would put him 2016. This is 2025.
Wow.
20. He might. If I'm right, I think that makes him 27.
Puljujarvi is 26.
Okay.
I was way off at 30. I don't know what I was thinking.
27. When's his birthday though?
May 7th.
Yeah, so he'll be 27 this year.
Man,
not a kid anymore.
No, not exactly.
Old.
Career high points was 36
with Edmonton.
65 games with Edmonton in the 2021-2022 season.
That wasn't even that long ago.
No, it wasn't. Overall, not great.
No.
This season, he has put up a whopping 3 goals, 6 assists,
Woo-hoo.
and total for
games?
9 points in 26 games.
I didn't even realize he'd played that many.
Yeah, I didn't think so either, but he's played 4 in the A so far with the Penguins.
Okay.
Also the Penguins, yeah.
4th
overall pick in the 2016 draft. I'm just going to touch on that draft briefly. You could have had You could not have had Dubois. He went before.
But Puljujarvi was supposed to go 3.
Oh.
Yeah, Puljujarvi was supposed to go 3.
You could have had Vancouver Canucks legend Olli Juolevi.
Ooh.
Yeah. Or you could have had Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah, I would have taken that.
If this draft is done over, Tkachuk goes 2. Right behind Matthews.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Matthews,
He was
Laine.
originally 2. Laine, yes.
Laine. Tkachuk goes above Laine, no question.
Yeah, Laine has been really good with Montreal this year. He's power play menace. But
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize Tage Thompson went at 26th
Ben.
overall.
No.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about the 2016 draft.
No, we are not.
What do we have next? Go ahead and if you want to crack that open, just go ahead. Give us a crispy. Ooh, I like that.
So much.
Yeah. All right. Do you feel refreshed?
So refreshed.
Perfect. Okay, give us our next. We have some milestones here, do we not?
Yes, we do. Claude Giroux.
Claude Giroux.
1,100 points.
1,100 points.
Good for him.
Good for him.
It's 1,100 more than me.
If we're counting, that's 1,100 more than us combined.
Ooh.
Yeah. So 1,100 points. That's pretty good.
We're just defensive powerhouses. That's all.
That's right. We really don't like. Yeah. We don't get many points. We don't get points on the board. And Oilers legend Dmitry Kulikov with 1,000 games.
Yes, 1,000 NHL games, which good job for him. But I want you to guess something. You guys can guess something at home as well.
Comment down below.
How many, so he's Russian.
Yeah.
How many Russians do you think have accomplished this previously? So he is the
1,000 games?
What Russian to accomplish 1,000 games in the NHL? There have been approximately, based on a very quick Google search, approximately 400 total NHLers who have played 1,000 games. How many Russians, now that Kulikov has done it, how many Russians have done it?
How many Russians out of 400?
No, 1,000. Oh, how many out of 400?
Yeah,
Yes. I thought you said how many have 400.
No.
Yeah.
Out of 400 odd NHL players, how many Russians? Okay, I'm gonna say probably. Ooh, this might be a little bold here, but I'm going 185.
185.
That might be really high or
Less.
just really low. I don't know.
Less.
Okay. So is this Price is Right? As many as I can, closest to the number without going over.
Well, you're already over, so.
Well, I guess I'm also the only contestant, so.
Yep.
Okay, well, I lost on both fronts. Anyway, lower, hey? So I'm going to go, let's say 126.
Less. Not even close.
Really?
Yeah.
There are a lot of Russians in the NHL.
Oh, yeah.
Though they do like to stay in the KHL for a while. Some of them.
Yeah.
So okay. That number might go drastically down.
Well,
here.
they like to either stay in the KHL or they leave early for the KHL.
Or they leave. Yeah. Okay. Wow. 18.
Less.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So
But you have 2 more. I'll give you 2 more.
7.
More.
Okay. Then this. What did I say? 17 before.
You said 18, I
18.
believe.
Okay. Yeah, that's got to be then 11.
Less.
What is it? Tell me.
9. Kulikov is
9.
the 9th Russian to play 1,000 games in the NHL.
So who?
Most? I bet you can't guess who has the most.
Oh, I would have no idea.
Do you actually have no idea?
That's Ovechkin.
Yeah, it's Ovechkin. Yeah. Ovechkin is the most.
Okay.
With 1,400.
Okay.
I'm just approximating.
Yeah.
Alexei Kovalev with
Yeah.
1,300.
Is Fedorov on this list?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Sergei Gonchar with also 1,300.
Okay.
Sergei Fedorov with 1,200.
Yeah.
Malkin with 1,100.
Gino.
Yeah. Kozlov with 1,100.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, where'd I go? There you go. I don't even know who this guy is. I probably should, but I don't. Alexei Zitnik played about 1,000.
Makes 2 of us who doesn't know who he is.
He played about 1,000, just over. Sergei Zubov also played 1,000, and Dmitry Kulikov has just played his 1,000th.
Well, I guess props to him, man.
There's no ways Kulikov is not the least skilled player on that list. So props to him for staying for that long.
And yeah, wow.
The 3 players just outside that are in the 900s but didn't make it. Alexander Mogilny stopped at 990.
Mogilny, yeah.
Andrei Markov stopped also at 990. And then I can't see the games played, but Pavel Datsyuk was just short.
Datsyuk didn't make it.
Datsyuk did not make it to 1,000.
Dang.
And he did go to the KHL.
So you've heard it here first, folks. Kulikov is better than Datsuk.
100%.
Yep, no doubt there.
But he did that with 8 different teams. And fun fact, he has the franchise record for most hits on the Florida Panthers.
Really?
So he does have something to his name other than 1,000 games.
He did something. Okay. So then other milestones we have is Freddie Anderson hits 500 games.
Yeah.
So good for him. I see many more in his future.
As long as he doesn't get hurt.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
But if he stays healthy, there are no signs of slowing down there, I wouldn't say.
Yeah. Most underrated goalie in the NHL, in my opinion.
Probably. He's definitely up there for sure. Good old Showtime, Patty Kane hits all-time leader in shootout goals.
Who did
and I
pass?
don't think there's anybody more deserving than him.
I could think of maybe one. We just talked about
Datsuk.
Datsuk. And I'm wondering if Datsuk is the one that he passed.
No.
I also know one of the Jokinen brothers had a crazy amount. Was it Ole Jokinen?
It was Ole Jokinen.
Okay.
Probably.
I'll confirm.
Confirm that while I talk about Showtime here. He some of the most highlight reel worthy shootout goals. I know that we grew up watching his shootout goals, his celebrations. All the kids on the hockey team that were our age were trying to score the crappiest little goal you've ever seen, and then try and do a Patrick Kane celebration.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see him get the record for shootout goals. I think that he deserves that. Now, of course, when was the shootout introduced into the NHL?
I want to say the lockout in 06 is my guess.
I don't actually know. So, but of course...
I think it was the lockout.
There's no competition with either Gretzky or Lemieux or anybody because the shootout hasn't been around for that long.
We were very wrong, by the way.
Yeah?
I have a list here with the top 25. Ole Jokinen is not on it.
Oh.
UC is.
Oh, it's UC Jokinen.
So you were thinking UC. Oh. UC Jokinen is 14th. He has one of the highest percentages.
That's what it was. He has the highest percentage.
Yes. And he has 37 total. So Kane just scored his 53rd.
Okay.
The one he passed is his former teammate, Jonathan Toews.
Oh.
Toews had the most. Did not see that coming. When I think Jonathan Toews, I don't think shootout master.
Neither would I.
Yeah. This one makes sense. He is known for one specific shootout in international play.
Kucherov.
Nope.
No.
International play. Not all-star. American.
Yeah. Who?
TJ Oshie. He took all three attempts. Was it his World Junior game or in the Olympics? I can't remember which. Either in one of his World Junior games or in early Olympics, he took all 3 attempts in a shootout, and I think he scored all 3.
Yeah.
But he's third. He's tied for third all time with Franz Nielsen.
Okay.
With 49.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
I wonder which goalie has the highest percentage in the shootout, most saves.
I don't know. I don't know if that's as easily Googlable.
I doubt it, but I don't expect you to Google that. Yeah. But you know what? The first guy that comes to my mind, I'm a true Homer Flames fan, comes to mind was...
I know who you're going to say.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yes, and I'm blanking on his name. Is it Kari Ramo?
No,
but it's from that era.
It was in that era. It was the guy he shared the crease with.
What's his first name?
Reto.
Reto Berra.
Reto Berra. Yeah. He was a very mid goalie in regular games.
I would say below mid.
Yeah, for a while there he was all right. But in the shootout... You weren't stopping him.
Yeah, but
he wasn't letting you score, rather.
Yeah. And I would say below mid, but you were also comparing him to Kiprusoff, because that's the post-Kiprusoff era.
That's true.
Isn't it? That's right after Kiprusoff retired. Was
close
it not?
to. Close to. Yeah. That was sad days for Flames fans.
Yeah.
Moving on here.
More goalies.
More goalie stuff.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yes. Flower.
Okay. I'm curious, have you seen all the stats from his last game in Montreal?
No.
Okay, well, I've got quite a list for you. First of all, he is the best pranker in the NHL. This has nothing to do with a milestone, though I guess.
There's no competition there.
So him and Crosby obviously were teammates for many years, won cups together. They were both, Fleury on the Wild.
Yeah.
Crosby on the Penguins.
Uh-huh.
They were both in Carolina a few weeks ago. They were at the same hotel. It's like before one team left. I believe Penguins had played and they were leaving, and Fleury was playing the next day. During Fleury's morning skate, Sid snuck into Fleury's hotel room and moved the furniture around during the Wild morning skate just for fun, because those two have a rivalry.
Of course they do.
And then in retaliation, Fleury stole Crosby's equipment bag and put Vaseline on his visor, laced up his skates backwards, and put beef sticks in his jockstrap.
Why am I not shocked?
It's like Crosby just pokes and
Yeah.
Fleury just goes
Fleury's like, all right,
all in. Like
that's
last
it.
year with this prank war with Duhaime when he just took all the tires off of Duhaime's car or whatever it was. Or maybe that's what Duhaime did to Fleury. I
It
can't
was
remember.
one way or the other.
But then Fleury's retaliation was just like 100 times worse than what was done to him.
Bro must have been a menace in high school. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine the things he did to people's lockers and stuff
Yeah.
in high school.
He is the guy you definitely want to be friends with, but you have to watch your back if you are his
Yes.
friend. Or if
Yeah.
you're his enemy.
Just watch your back if
Yep.
you're around him. That makes sense.
Yeah. But Fleury just
Yeah.
played his last game in Montreal in his career. So he's from
Yeah.
Quebec. So that's
Yeah.
big hometown game. He said this is his last season. People have asked, and he's like, I can't just keep saying one more.
Yeah.
So he said this is his last game. Now, he got a shutout in his last game in
Yeah.
Montreal. He got a standing ovation from the crowd. The players stayed after, shook his hand and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a list of all the milestones he reached just in that game. With that shutout,
Yeah.
Flower is the first goalie to get a shutout as a teen. He did it on October 30th.
As a teenager?
As a teenager.
Okay.
He got a shutout as a teenager on October 30th, 2003. And this shutout...
I remember that when I was like 6 months old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember it well. And then this shutout was on January 30th. First one was October 30th. This
Okay.
is January 30th, 2025. So
Wow.
almost exactly 22 years later.
22 years between
He is 40.
shutouts.
He is now 40 plus years. He was 19 for the first one. I
Yeah.
think he's 41 now. He's the first goalie
Huh.
to get a shutout as a teenager and at 40 plus years old
That's awesome.
with that shutout. Also,
cool.
with
Yeah.
this shutout, he moved into top 10 all time in shutouts. With that
Okay.
shutout,
With that one, eh?
Yeah, with
Cool.
that one he tied. And also on top of all that, with that shutout, it was his first of the season. Fleury's recorded at least one shutout in 21 seasons, passing Terry Sawchuk and tying Brodeur for the highest total in NHL history.
Nice.
All with one shutout. He
Wow.
would have done all those things if he got a shutout at any point in the season.
But it was that one.
But it was that one against Montreal in his last game against
That's
the
what you
Canadiens
call
in Montreal.
That's what you call poetic.
Yeah,
Right there.
And that is a milestone night for the ages.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that quite a lot. I've always liked Fleury. I know people give him a lot of crap. Sometimes he was, being got the label on him that he's no good in the playoffs or whatever. I remember that was the narrative for a while. Yet I don't know how, because he won cups. I think people just said that he was carried by Crosby and Malkin and Letang.
Yeah. Well, he was hurt for a couple of them. Their 09 one and their 2015 one, I believe.
Was
He was hurt because Matt Murray
that's right.
carried them through third and fourth, if not also second round in 2015 or 16. Sorry,
Something like that.
and in 09, Thomas Foucault played a lot of the playoffs.
He did.
Yeah.
You're right. I forgot that name. Thank you for reminding me.
No problem.
Good nostalgia there. Look at old Tommy Vokoun. Yeah.
Also in a separate game,
Yeah.
and just to throw another milestone in there, Fleury tied Luongo for the second most game played by a goalie a few nights ago.
Okay.
I don't know if he's now broken that or not.
Oh.
But if he was at least tied for Luongo, he'll pass it this season
Yeah.
at some point. Become second most. I don't think he'll pass first, which would be Brodeur or Waugh.
Yeah.
But compare that to Anderson. Anderson
Yeah.
just got to 500.
Yeah.
And with this, I believe he played his 1,000th. No, it wouldn't have been 1,000. Oh, how many was it?
How many games has Fleury played is your
How
question?
many games has Fleury played his whole career? I just had it.
I will get that for you
Hold on,
in
I
two
get it
shakes of a
first.
bunny's tail. Marc-Andre Fleury. Searching up on HockeyDB here. He has played 1,044.
Yeah. So what? 1,000. Okay, so 1,044. He ties. For
That's not
second.
that's just regular season though.
Yeah.
How many playoff games has he played?
Yeah. So the stat I saw was just regular season, but I am curious.
That's regular season. Where's playoffs? I can't really tell. Is that 97? No, doesn't matter. Anyway, that's impressive nonetheless. 3 Stanley Cups.
And yeah, he's 41, has played over 1,000 games. Freddie Anderson, who just played his 500th, he is in his 30s as well.
Yeah.
Trying to see how far into his 30s. He was drafted in the 2010 draft, so 15 plus 18. He's like 33, 34 years old, Freddie Anderson.
Yeah.
And he just played his 500.
Wow.
So Freddie Anderson ain't going to be playing 500 more games by the time he's 40.
That's for darn sure. Yeah. Well, what a career for legend Marc-Andre Fleury, the Chicago Blackhawks legend himself.
Yeah.
No reaction.
Yeah. Remember when he had his jersey name misspelled? I think we talked about that on podcast
Marc-Andre Fleury, if I recall correctly. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
How do you mess that up? Anyway, we will move on from Flower to talking about some of my favorite brothers in the NHL.
The best smile in the league.
The best smile in the league.
Behind Jesse Puljujarvi.
Well, yeah, that's true. No one has the biggest smile as Jesse Puljujarvi.
But this man...
I wonder if he was smiling when he had his contract terminated. Probably not.
This man has the best, portrait smile,
the best NHL portraits.
For their
player picture.
Yeah, that.
And
beginning of each season.
If you don't already know, we're talking about none other than Brandon Tanev and Chris Tanev.
And
of course, we're talking about Brandon Tanev with the picture. Yeah. But did Chris ever copy him?
I don't think
so. No, he didn't.
I don't see
there were a number
Chris has great hair.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Very good. There were a number of copycats of people trying to do the Brandon Tanev, but none quite as good as himself. They have now... What do you have written down here? I can't really see it. Read it for us.
Both those brothers lead the NHL in block shots. Chris
Okay.
Tanev leads the NHL in block shots by a defenseman, and Brandon leads the NHL in block shots by a forward.
Hockey guys.
Yeah.
Tough guys.
Good for them.
That's right.
I don't have anything else to follow that up with, but just good for them.
Well, Chris Tanev has always been very impressive with his shot block. Like, he sees a puck, and he's like, oh, I got to make sure it doesn't get to the goalie. Here, let me stick my face in front of it.
It doesn't surprise me that he's but Brandon surprised me a little. That's true. I'm not, shocked,
no,
but I wouldn't have guessed it.
No.
I would have guessed somebody like Adam Lowry.
Yeah.
One of those, defensive powerhouse forwards.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and what's his... why do I always struggle with his name? Chris Russell. He's like Chris Russell after Chris Russell, to me. Chris Tanev is.
Yeah. I would agree.
Chris Russell was throw himself in front of anything as well to block the shot. Yeah.
Chris Tanev's a better defenseman overall than Russell was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Russell only had shot blocking.
Yeah, he was...
And he was incredible at it. Best
good.
one in history. That's why he had a job. But
Caroline, Alberta legend.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you who don't know...
Can't shoot.
No, can't shoot. Caroline is about a 40-minute drive from here. So we Caroline legend, definitely.
I've reffed Chris Russell.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
When was that?
He was playing beer league against my dad, and I was reffing.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
How long ago was that?
It would have been it was pre-COVID, so it would have been 5 years ago.
Oh, cool.
6 years ago.
I did not know that.
Yep. He was still on contract with the Oilers at the time, so
really?
Yeah.
Is that even allowed?
The one thing I can't remember if he was skating or if he was just on the ice. His brother Patrick Russell, I think Patrick is his brother's name, was playing.
Okay.
And he's a former NHLer.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing in NHL at that time.
Okay.
But I can't remember if Chris was playing or if he was just on the bench coaching.
Yeah. That's cool. I have a story of someone I know playing with an NHLer recently. I can't remember who it was. Like a former NHLer. Okay. I can't remember who it was. So at the break, I'm going to give my dad a call because I know he would know. So I will tell the story after the break. I just have to remember to do that. But we'll circle back to that.
Yeah. Talking about tough guys.
Yes.
Take it away.
Tough guys. We are talking about James Van Riemsdyk.
Yes, we
Hockey
were.
guy. Very big hockey guy. I don't know that it gets more stereotypical than this. Let me read this out to you. James Van Riemsdyk lost 4 teeth. This was, just the other night?
This would have been, just a day or two ago. We're recording this on what day?
February 8th.
2025.
JVR lost 4 teeth and needed 30-plus stitches on the Ian Cole high stick in Friday's win versus Utah. He had teeth removed and stitches to return to action. He assisted on one of the game comeback goals, then more work post-game in Salt Lake City. So... good hockey guy. Comes back into the game after getting stitched up. That's nothing new. We know that. That's been done before. A post-game x-ray revealed that a tooth was still lodged in his bottom lip after it was stitched. Bro, wouldn't you feel that? Maybe it's just so much pain you don't realize there's an extra...
pain or adrenaline or something.
I don't know, man. Lodged in his bottom tooth after it was stitched up. So a stitch was removed, the tooth was dislodged, and then stitched back up again. Then... came a bone graft and root canals. He's currently eating through a straw. But of course he's going to play against, it says the tweet here from, I don't know how to pronounce that name, says will play tonight versus the Stars.
Yeah.
True hockey guy right there. He's eating through a straw after getting teeth busted and having to get it reopened to pull a freaking tooth out. And yeah, of course he'll suit up.
Do you know what his response was when he was interviewed?
No.
Kind of funny. That's all. I'm sure there was more to it, but all I see here in quotations is kind of funny.
Kind of funny.
Just hilarious.
That's about it.
That's what I think when my teeth get embedded in my lip.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, that happens to the best of us, right? Well, and I always get a crack out of how much tougher NHL players are than any of the other the three major sports, I should say, here in North America. I remember NBA players sidelined for a game with knee pains.
Sprained toenail.
Precisely. I haven't seen that one, but I wouldn't be surprised. And load management in the NBA. Oh, I'm not going to play today because I need to rest. That doesn't exist in the NHL.
Yeah.
The only time you'll see a star player not play if he's not hurt is because they've clinched the playoffs, they have nothing to gain, and he might be resting the last game, and then they call up some guys from the minors to play. That's it.
Yeah.
No other reason would they sit out if they're healthy, aside from personal reasons like family emergencies.
Yeah.
They won't sit out. Then anyway, reason number 565,000 as to why the NHL is better than the NBA.
Amen.
Oh man, I could go on for that for a while. A common theme here at the Dump and Chase podcast is player discipline.
We like to talk about discipline.
We always love to talk about player discipline because there's always something new to talk about when we record.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Oh no, I think you've got his brother's. You got his brother jerseys on.
I am wearing the Matthew Tkachuk jersey. His brother Brady Tkachuk, good guy. Love this move. I saw that he had an incident where, what was it? He was hooked.
He was hooked, or there was a battle. And
there was a high stick coming for his face.
Yeah.
He snapped his head back to avoid it.
Classic
Whip his head back. So the refs see it. They see a stick fly, head whip back. Okay, that's a classic high stick. Brady looks at the ref and kind of shrugs it off. No, that wasn't a hit. You look at the replay. He avoided contact with the stick to not get hit. But then when the refs were going to call a penalty, he knew that he didn't get hit, so he said, "No, it's not a penalty." Good guy right there.
True. I'm shocked the refs actually didn't call it.
Yeah?
Because if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the refs did blow the play down.
Yeah.
For the penalty and make the call. And I think they took it back after. I'm not sure they're allowed to do that.
I don't know if they are either.
And so I'm shocked that they did. Brady Tkachuk did the right thing. I don't know if the refs, by the rule, by the book, I don't know if the refs technically did the right thing, but I'm glad they did.
Well, whether you call that or not,
it surprised me.
Yeah, whether they actually in the end call it as a penalty or not, Brady Tkachuk did the right thing, and that's what matters at the end of the day here.
Yeah.
Honestly, with a guy like that, if your reputation is that, when you actually do complain to the ref and are upset by something that did happen, chances are you're going to get the call. You know? So, it's honesty is the best policy in that case. And the league, the players know that. The refs know that. They know that if you're more of an honest guy, then that says a lot. Or the opposite's true when you're a whiner to the ref, and then if something happened, they call the penalty on you, and you don't argue it, then they know you're guilty. Yeah. I can't remember who it was. I think it was I can't remember which player. I think it was Marchand or something. I can't remember. There was a situation, and I remember thinking, oh, he's going to complain to the refs, and he wasn't. And I'm like, oh, he's guilty as the day is long.
I saw a video not long ago. I don't know if it was NHL. I can't remember. Where somebody got in, was absolutely livid, freaking out at the ref. Throwing his stick in the penalty box. But clearly, genuinely believed he was not guilty. Sat down, looked up at the Jumbotron, and was like, nodded his head and shrugged his shoulders and was totally fine. And he's like, never mind. That was the right call.
That was the NHL. That was a player on the Jets.
Oh, was it?
He was really upset and slamming the door. And if you can read lips, I think he was talking a lot about the puck. And then he happens to look up at the Jumbotron and his face was something like... And anyway, so he knew he was guilty. Yeah. And that was pretty funny. Yeah. I do like that clip. It appears on my Instagram frequently.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next thing we got here in player discipline?
So I've got here the rat chokehold in our notes. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? When you think of the rat, who are you thinking?
Wow, I wonder who... Brad Marchand.
Okay, who is another player? Can you think of another player who's kind of known by that reputation recently, specifically?
Tom Wilson, Matthew Tkachuk?
Not them. Nick Cousins.
Nick Cousins?
Nick Cousins.
Yeah.
Nick Cousins has been guilty of a few things in the last couple of years. So what happens? What do you think happens when you put the two together?
Good things. Very good things.
Marchand reaching over and putting Nick Cousins in a chokehold, fully grabbing his neck, and
oh no, I did see this.
And bare hand, just
jabbed his throat
straight up layer and held him for 3 seconds.
Yeah,
and let him go. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. There was no fine, suspension, anything. Is that the right call?
No.
Cousins doesn't care. Cousins doesn't do anything either. So it's great. Nothing happened.
Yay, good for you, but that sets a bad precedent.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Matthew Tkachuk's I can go jab somebody's throat.
And you could say, okay, well, Marchand did it to Cousins. Anybody in the league, Cousins deserved it. Except now you just told Cousins he could go do it to somebody else.
Okay, great. He deserves it. Sure. Doesn't mean there shouldn't be discipline.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's if you had to pick somebody for it to happen to, I guess you know.
Yeah. Player discipline has
seize the moment.
Yeah, it's always a controversial thing.
Always.
Player discipline.
Yeah.
Speaking of, have you seen the Ryan Hartman
hit
on Stützle?
Yes,
or not
I did.
A hit?
No, it was off the face-off, cross-check you to the ice.
Okay, I think I know what your opinion is based on that comment.
Yes.
Should there have been a suspension? For those who may not have known, it was a play on the face-off, and Hartman went and he lost his balance. He did not win the face-off, and he put his elbow or arm on the back of Stützle's neck and dropped him to the ice, and Stützle's face crunched against the ice. His helmet cut him across the forehead and everything.
Yes.
Hartman was suspended 10 games.
Yeah.
That was the result. He is appealing it. The result of the appeal has not yet been released or decided.
They said he was suspended based on the intent to injure, is what they called it.
Yeah. Hartman has a lengthy suspension history. That is something to keep in mind.
Yes, he does.
This is the longest suspension I think I saw since, I want to say 2018 in the NHL for something like this. There have been other suspensions for substance use and things like that.
Yeah, gambling, Pinto or whoever.
Yeah. But I think this is the longest on ice suspension in a long time. Is it the right call? Is it the right suspension? Do you think
too long?
Too long?
I think so. So
should he have been suspended?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We're on the same page. How many games are you thinking?
I'd give him 5.
Okay. On what basis?
On the basis that he didn't do anything, it wasn't come flying in and just smoke you in the face with an elbow like I've seen McDavid do.
Yeah.
Just had to throw that out there.
Yeah.
And there was nothing like that. He did fall. Yes, he did fall. So naturally, gravity takes course. Go down to the ground, sure. But he did put his arm, and was the stick involved? Was it a cross check?
I don't think the stick was involved.
No, I'm mistaken when I say it was a cross check. And slammed the guy's neck into the ice. Not good.
No.
And yes, he fell, but he could have controlled it much better than that. Instead, he decided to put his arm on his neck and crunch him into the ice. Not good. 10 games? No. There's worse, that's gotten less.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, let me put it this way. If Stützle did that to Hartman, would Stützle get suspended?
Yes.
You think so?
Sure.
I don't think he would.
You don't think he would?
I don't think he would.
I think he wouldn't get suspended for very long.
Yeah. I think this is mostly a suspension based off of history. When I watched that play, I think if there's somebody with absolutely no history, especially if it was a veteran that had no suspension history, if I see them do that, I'm thinking that was an entire accident. Yeah. Nothing about that was on purpose. It's a player who lost balance. Instincts kick in. You grab or balance or position yourself on the closest thing to you. I think my camera just died.
Oh, shoot. Well, actually, we are at 34 minutes, so we're going to take a break.
We'll revisit this in a moment.
Absolutely. I don't know. Are you ready?
I am so ready.
Perfect. We're back from break. We had to swap out a battery, and I called my dad and found out that story. So we will circle back to that once we're done talking about what we were before we were so rudely interrupted by a camera timing out. So,
silly camera.
Our sincerest apologies for you only having to look at me if you're watching for the last, probably 5 minutes of that first half.
Please don't unsubscribe.
Exactly. Yikes. I mean, if you do, I understand. But if you're audio only listening, then you're perfectly fine. You probably chose the best way to consume our content anyway. Okay, so we were talking about the Ryan Hartman suspension, and
yes.
Would have somebody got equal or even equal discipline or even just a suspension at all if they did not have a history?
Yeah. And I was saying...
I got a coffee, by the way, because I was yawning.
Oh, look at him go. Coffee sucks. Anyways. So if somebody, especially a veteran in a league with no suspension history, does this, it's natural human instinct. Put your arm up on the player or like whatever's there. You're supporting yourselves. It's unfortunate you land on the player.
Yeah.
I can see injury occurs. I can see a roughing penalty or a game misconduct. I can see that, especially with the amount of blood that was on the ice, how it looks at real time.
Yeah.
I can see a double minor, major penalty.
There was a good, decent jab, though.
Yes, and so that's where I can see a game misconduct.
Yes.
I think this is a 10-game suspension. Staying Ryan Hartman, you've been suspended each season for the last 3 seasons or whatever it is, and you haven't been stopping. This is enough. This is a wake-up call.
Yeah.
That's what I think this is. I think this is a suspension. I think this is 10 games for being a bully for too many years in a row.
Probably.
I genuinely don't think almost any other regular player in the league would have got this suspension.
Probably not, unless your name's Rafi Torres, but he's not in the league anymore.
And in my opinion, 10 games is too many games for that point.
I would agree.
I would say 3 is probably where I would have gone. Which is
5 could be a little much. I don't know. I could be convinced either way.
Yeah.
But to get the point across for something like that, I think I'd probably still stick with 5 for him. And because any other player in the league doing that, I would say that's probably 2-3 games.
Yeah. Yeah, and in my opinion, I wouldn't even give him 1. If it's a no history.
That's fair. That's fair. We can agree to disagree on that because I think that it would set a precedent that you can jab people's necks into the ice, I guess.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But maybe not if it was everyone else. It's be curious to see what NHL with player discipline would do on that account. Now let's talk about sort of our big ticket item. Well, I mean, in terms of game suspended, not the big ticket item, but we're going to talk about probably the biggest player discipline issue in a bit, and that is Connor McDavid and Tyler Myers getting equal suspensions for equal acts.
If you're not aware and can't tell by my jersey, I am an Oilers fan.
What?
So, and my hat, I am an Oilers fan.
He's
if
wearing
you're new
the Stanley
to the
Cup
podcast,
losers hat, by the way.
Yeah, I left my Western Conference champs one at home.
For those listening, he's wearing a hat that says 2024 Stanley Cup Final with the Oilers on it. So, that's the losers
I
hat.
bought it when it was still cheap and we hadn't lost yet. So, in case we did win, because it would have gotten crazy expensive.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's comfy, so.
That's fair. Hey, that's what matters. Ooh, nice. Okay, so suspension, McDavid, Myers. What are your thoughts?
No, I have lots of thoughts. I'm curious what yours are.
Okay, all right. Well, so when I was watching the game,
you watched it live. I actually didn't watch it live. I watched highlights afterwards. But
do I watch Oilers games? No, I don't. Unless they're playing the Flames. I was over at my in-laws' place and they had the game on. And so, I'll watch it, whatever. And it was towards the end of the game, if I'm not mistaken, a few seconds left in the game.
The McDavid one. I don't know when the Myers one was.
It was at the same time.
Oh, were they at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I saw 2 separate
They were in the
clips
same
of them.
scrum.
Okay.
Like on opposite sides of the ice. But,
okay.
Yeah. So I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the way it happened was there was a scrum. McDavid was ticked off at... Who did he hit?
Connor Garland.
Because Garland was... They'd fallen over each other and Garland was holding him down. Very annoying.
And it was relentless holding him down.
Yes, it was. Absolutely.
Yeah. It was a good 10, 15 seconds of holding.
He deserves a shot for that. You can't do that and get away with it. All right?
He deserves a penalty for that.
Yes, he does. Absolutely.
Spoiler alert, he didn't get one.
He should have got one. But that has nothing to do with McDavid's suspension because what McDavid did is once they were kind of separated, he turned around and cross-checked him in the face. Suspend him. Easy. You have to suspend him for that. Now, I know he's the NHL's golden boy. I know this. But then, after, what was it? just a little bit after, Tyler Myers cross-checks...
I can't remember who it was. Was it like Podkolzin or something?
No.
I don't know who it was. Like I said,
it was like Bouchard or somebody. I don't know.
Yes, it was Bouchard.
Yeah.
It was Bouchard.
Okay,
yes.
yeah. And Tyler Myers cross-checks him in the face. So now we're looking at a situation from player discipline of, okay, whatever suspension or discipline they're going to get, it has to be equal because they both cross-checked people in the face. Now, of course, what McDavid had happened to him before, not good. But at the end of the day, it's still the same action. Has to be treated the same. So I sat there thinking, okay, so what's McDavid going to get for this? He is going to get 1 game for this because he's the NHL's golden boy, and not Garland, and Myers is also going to get 1 because that looks bad if they get something different. To my pleasant surprise, they both got 3, which I thought was perfectly fair. Go ahead, unleash.
I agree with you.
You do?
3 games for both players was the right call.
Okay.
I maybe would have gone 2.
Maybe.
Each.
That could be argued.
But both of them have a history.
Yep. Especially McDavid, honestly.
Yeah, McDavid gets suspended every other year.
Yes, he does.
And so 3 games, reasonable. You cross-check a guy in the face, that is game misconduct, that is a suspension.
Yeah.
You have a history, it'll be 2-3 games. Right call by player safety. The referees, however...
Oh, yeah.
There has to be referee accountability.
Yes,
there has to be. That was one of the worst games. I went through and watched highlights because I was seeing comments. I was like, what is going on? It was one of the worst ref games I have ever seen.
Yeah, it was bad.
Ever.
It was really bad.
And recently, especially, the Oilers have been getting screwed by refs. But the fact that in that situation... to a New Orleans
Saints fan.
Yeah, well, I don't watch football, so I don't care. The fact that Garland can hold him for that long, relentlessly, and an arm does not go up is not okay.
Yeah.
And for that to be right in front of the refs.
Yeah, the arm has to go up.
If you want to protect your best player, that has to happen. Because we're talking about setting precedents, what precedent is that going to set? What precedent has been set over the past years?
Superstars and...
Yeah, McDavid is like, I saw a thing, I think he's like 103rd in the league in drawn penalties.
Really?
McDavid should be a top 5, if not top 3 player in the league drawing penalties.
Yes.
But he gets held and hooked and grabbed and held and hooked some more than I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And the lack of calls belongs in 2003.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. If the ref calls that hold on Garland and calls roughing for McDavid because McDavid was punching, take them both off, doesn't matter. After 3 seconds in the end of a meaningless game, nothing happens. No one gets suspended on either team. But they let it go and go and go. And you know what?
All of a sudden, you have sticks in the face.
Yeah, and Connor Garland is a pest.
Yes, he is.
And McDavid is frustrated because he's been getting yanked and grabbed, and the refs have been bad all game, and so he cross-checks somebody.
Yes, he does.
And way to prevent that, the refs.
Yep.
Refs have to have it. I don't know if that looks like more scrutiny. I don't know if that looks like referee interviews. There has to be something.
Yeah.
I am in favor of interviewing a referee. I am a ref. I am generally on the side of the refs.
Yeah, I know you are.
And but it has to be better. Yeah. This is professional, highest professional league of hockey, and the refs are awful.
Yeah.
They have been for the last 2 or 3 years. I just saw something that the NHL has actually been weeding out their experienced ones so they can hire less experienced, cheaper refs. I don't know if that's true.
That could be some money-saving thing that the league's trying to do, and it's really falling on its face.
But regardless, there has to be accountability. If the players are held accountable to their actions, the coaches are held accountable to their actions, and neither of them are allowed to say anything about the refs without getting suspended, then the refs better be able to be interviewed.
Yes,
I don't care if you set a head ref. You can only interview the head ref at each game. Yeah. But I want an explanation as to why that wasn't called.
Yeah, I think
because
so too.
It's reasonable. McDavid had to do an interview to explain why he cross-checked the guy in the face.
Yeah.
McDavid got in trouble. That's a high-pressure situation. This is a high-pressure sport.
Yep.
And it's like everyone else gets interviewed, you should be able to as well.
100%.
Or don't ref in the NHL.
Exactly. I think that reffing in professional sports has gotten a lot worse. I don't know why, but it has. And
you know what? It is embarrassing as all get out to have to admit that on national TV. So don't make the mistake. Make the call.
Exactly. So that's going to put a lot of pressure on refs.
Which is going to weed some out. Some are going to quit because of it. But it means you're going to be left with the good ones.
Absolutely. And we've been seeing a lot of this in the NFL. If any of you follow that, I'm not going to go too long on football because this isn't a football podcast.
I've seen that there's a lot that are under scrutiny right now.
Terrible.
Because it was the semifinals, right?
Yes, it was the Bills and Chiefs game where there's, of course, in the NFL, they have to spot the ball to see if it made it over the line. And the ball was quite clearly over the line, and the refs called it short for the Chiefs. And the refs have been calling a lot of things for the Chiefs, which has just been disappointing to watch. But I think that in the NHL, especially, there needs to be a lot more ref accountability. Yeah, there has to be.
It has to be. It's not an option.
No.
That's my beef with this situation.
Yeah.
Referees have been terrible. I only watch Oilers games. I don't know if it's league-wide. Oilers games, they have been awful.
And as a Flames fan, sometimes, like, watching it, I think, wow, the refs are really favoring us here. We should have, that should have been a penalty on us, but it wasn't. But then other games, it's the complete reverse. So we need some consistency.
And you know what?
Not consistently terrible, mind you.
Yeah. Although I'd rather consistently terrible than flip-flopping.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Because at least that would bring to light the problem and they would fix it.
Yeah, that's true.
But like McDavid, like the argument always is it's not fair.
Yeah.
Like he's so much faster, they have to be able to. Otherwise he'll be unstoppable. And I'm like, that's the point.
He has this unfair advantage that he's worked for.
Yeah, has spent his entire life working for that advantage. And he's getting paid how much? We'll talk about that later. Much. To do it.
And this is his payoff.
He should have that advantage because he 100%. Is better than everyone else. And so that should be the case. And the refs need to be held accountable for their actions.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, we can rip through some trades here, talk about them, touch on them. Some of them deserve more time than others. Let's go through them.
Granlund and Ceci trade. I'll read you the exact trades. I have them here.
Okay.
I think I have them here.
Hit us with it.
I think I have them here.
Well, I have some trades that I'm really excited to talk about.
Yeah.
There's some pretty groundbreaking trades in the NHL. And when I say trades, I mean really just one great big groundbreaking trade.
Yeah. Well, there's been one great big groundbreaking one. But this has been like the pre-trade deadline trade deadline.
Yeah. What's that all about?
Like 3 of the main names have already been moved.
Yeah.
And with another couple. So this one, San Jose Sharks trade Mikael Granlund and Cody Ceci to the Dallas Stars for a first-round pick and a conditional 4th. And it upgrades to a 3rd if Dallas makes the Stanley Cup final. So a first and a 4th or a first and a 3rd.
For Granlund.
The pick will either be Winnipeg's 4th or Dallas's 3rd, so it'll be a low pick either way.
All right.
For Granlund and Ceci, Dallas needed a little bit of defensive depth.
Yeah.
I don't love Ceci as an Oilers fan. He works hard, but he sometimes makes that big blunder.
Yep.
I really like Granlund. I don't know if a first but well, you know what? Normally, I would say a first isn't worth it, but Granlund has been worth a first this year.
Yeah, he has.
Granlund has been the best player on the Sharks,
and they're willing to pay for that to try and put them over the edge.
Yeah.
I think both teams win that trade.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a very mutually beneficial trade.
Anybody in fantasy who owns Granlund lost that trade because he's now no longer playing first unit, 24 minutes on the first line and first unit power.
And who would try to trade him to somebody else?
Me.
Yeah, you tried to trade what was your trade? It was stupid.
I don't think it was stupid.
It was stupid. You tried to get Kyle Connor from me for Granlund and Ryan O'Reilly.
Yes, name value it isn't, but in the league we're in, there's only like a 40-point difference between 2 of those players. So it was closer than he's giving me credit.
Nah, it was stupid. I'll keep Kyle Connor, thanks. Anyway, moving on.
Okay, next trade. What's the next one? You read me who's next in line.
The Kuzmenko trade.
The
Flames trade away Kuzmenko, Jakob Peltier. If I'm saying that right.
I think you are.
I think I am. I'm a Flames fan. I should probably get that somewhat right.
And a 2nd and a 7th.
And
Peltier, Kuzmenko, a 2nd and a 7th.
To Philadelphia for Morgan Frost, Joel Farabee, and what else?
That's it.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I don't have an opinion on this.
I like it.
I haven't decided what I think. I see pros and cons both ways. This is a wait and see one for me.
Yeah. I heard somebody say this might be a bit of an exaggeration. We traded going to be KHLer, a future KHLer, and who else was? Oh, and Peltier, and an underperforming prospect. He's not a prospect. He plays, but he's been underperforming for what he should be. For Frost and Farabee.
Yeah,
I like that.
The 7th means nothing. The 2nd is something possible.
Yeah, and a 2nd.
But picks are sometimes overvalued. And so
I could go deep into the trade tree here and talk about how with what tree living. Wow, what Conroy's done with the Elias Lindholm trade and what we've gotten in return for that. It's been very good. I won't go into that because that's me being a homer again. Let's keep moving on trades here, unless you have anything else to say about that one.
I think a large reason this trade happened is because I think Kuzmenko.
I really do like Kuzmenko, but
I don't think he wanted to play in Calgary anymore.
Yeah,
because he was traded to Calgary, right? He didn't. Yeah. So he didn't have the choice. I don't think he liked Calgary, but he's a Russian. Russians often like to play with other Russians.
Yep.
And Philly has Matvei Michkov. I think this is Kuzmenko. I wouldn't be surprised if Kuzmenko requested this trade.
He very well could
respectfully. I think it would, because if it wasn't, it would have made the news.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he actually respectfully requested this trade.
Yeah, that could
specifically to the Flyers, so he could play with Michkov.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me.
No, that wouldn't surprise me either. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not. I'm a little sad to see Kuzmenko go. I did like what I did see from him. I still believe that he was the most skilled player on the Flames. Skilled as in able to create those moves. No one on our team had that kind of flash.
Like Datsuki sort of skills. Okay, yes,
and
I would agree.
Gaudreau-esque.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking Huberdeau still has that skill, but that's like passing and
playmaking ability, all that.
That's different.
But if you need someone to get in there and get it done, and like shootout moves, anything like that,
the guy who's going to dangle through the
3
guys and tie the game with
Kuzmenko,
30 seconds left.
That's right. And Kuzmenko was the only guy we had that could do that. I would say they're guys who can get that done consistently. So a little sad to see him go. His work ethic may have not been there at all. But I wish him all the best in Philly. Honestly, good trade.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Which one's next?
We are. What'd you say?
Which one's next?
Rantanen.
Rantanen. 4. Where is my Rantanen trade? I'm losing it, everybody.
Goes to the Hurricanes.
For Martin Necas.
Yes.
There's more to it than that, but that's basically it.
Yeah, those are the big pieces moving. What are your thoughts?
I have had no idea, honestly.
How livid do you think McKinnon is?
McKinnon's probably not happy, but I also feel like McKinnon probably knew it was coming.
Yeah.
There's no way they didn't communicate that to McKinnon. I feel like it is more out of the blue to us than it is to them.
Right.
That
makes sense. But at the same time, McKinnon's the one who's been taking pay cuts so that the team can be good.
Mm-hmm.
Until his most recent contract. But he was taking pay cuts. And now to have the team not the team, but to have Rantanen leave, he's probably not too thrilled about.
Now, with that, Necas is good. Necas was one of the best players in the league the first half of this season. He was overperforming a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
And he's young.
Yep.
It's small sample size. 6 games played for Rantanen so far in a Carolina jersey. He's hurt and has a goal and an assist.
Yeah.
7 games played for Necas. He has 3 goals and 5 assists. He's 8 points in 7 games. Necas is playing way better.
I think we could see
than Rantanen is at the moment.
Yeah. I think we could see this being a very mutually beneficial trade.
Yeah, and especially, and this is, originally I was like, Carolina fleeced them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But there is this one thing, is Rantanen right now, he's rumored to be asking $14+ million on his contract. He's a pending UFA.
Mm-hmm.
If Colorado got to a point where we cannot keep this guy,
you have to trade him.
If you trade him now, they didn't become less Stanley Cup contenders.
No,
getting
they didn't.
Necas. Maybe they have a slightly less good player, but they got someone high caliber. If they wait till the deadline and everybody's like they're not going to sign Rantanen, they may not get Necas.
Right.
And so, I think it. Given it sucks for Colorado, but given the situation, they did well with it.
Probably a good trade.
Yeah. I think Rantanen's going to... There's a chance I saw Rantanen could get flipped again at the deadline from Carolina.
You think?
Get traded twice in a year.
Oh, that would be something. That would be
great. I have no idea what that might look like, but it would be kind of crazy.
Okay. Let's talk about JT Miller.
The attitude man.
Yes. The man himself.
JT Miller, he got traded to the Rangers, his former team.
Yep.
So he's been there before, and he gets traded with Eric Brandstrom, Jackson Dorrington. I've never heard of Jackson Dorrington. I'm sure he's a great guy.
That makes two of us. Probably a great guy.
Yep. Never heard of him.
Might be a great guy. Might buy you a beer at the bar, but I don't no idea who he is. Like,
yeah. Brandstrom, from what I've heard, is a decent player who could turn into something. So the Rangers got decent players from Vancouver. Vancouver gets Philip Sheetal, Victor Mancini, who I've heard is a pretty good prospect, and first round pick. I don't know anything about Mancini. Yeah. First rounder is good. The Rangers' first rounder might actually be good this year.
That could very well could be.
I'm curious. It is top 13 protected.
Okay.
It slides to the next year if it's a top 13 pick.
Right.
I like this trade.
Yeah.
It was needed. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the Canucks are a dumpster fire right now.
They sure are, and they could definitely ship away someone like JT Miller.
Yeah.
For picks.
And are you ready to be shocked? Prospects. We say someone like JT Miller.
Yeah. JT
Miller is just the second player in Canucks history to be over a point per game with their on their time with the team.
Really?
That means I don't know who the first one is, but it isn't both the Sedin brothers.
No?
Well, if it's only one person, it could be one of the Sedin brothers. It's not Mark Messier.
Pavel Bure.
It's not Pavel Bure. Or maybe it is. It can only be one of these people. Miller is only the second person ever to be over a point a game.
Wow.
In their time with the Canucks.
You don't know
not over their career. No, I just saw a thing just before we started here that said that. So I have not fact checked it, so there could be an error there, but
don't cancel us.
Please don't. So it's not just JT Miller.
Right.
JT Miller is good, but he is a locker room problem.
Yeah.
And the Canucks are a dumpster fire right now.
Yep.
And they needed to get rid of one of him or Pettersson. They still might get rid of Pettersson.
They could. That's a possibility.
Yeah. But I don't think Demko and Hughes have both publicly said they will not be part of a rebuild, which means you get rid of Pettersson, you lose Demko and Hughes as well.
Yes, you do.
Most likely, unless you bring something back because they did not bring enough back for Miller to say we're competing now.
No.
That trade was a future trade.
That was a future trade. That wasn't a now trade.
And so if they trade Pettersson for futures, I think Hughes and Demko are both gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That very well could be.
If Hughes goes, where might Hughes go?
Hughes could go to the Devils.
And what would that mean, Noah?
Oh, well, let's see. That could mean if they were to play the Canucks in an overtime match.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Marcus Pettersson was also traded from the Penguins to the Canucks.
Correct.
That was the other trade we hadn't talked about.
So,
that was a good trade. Yeah.
Right. Now with
Pittsburgh
that trade,
and Vancouver did a good job on that one.
If Quinn Hughes became a Devil and they played the Canucks in overtime, the lineup potentially could be Hughes against Pettersson. How do we feel about that?
I feel amazing about that.
I would love to hear the announcer on that.
Yeah, I want nothing
Hughes
more.
Hughes passes it to Hughes.
Yeah. I want nothing more than to see all the Hughes brothers play together.
That would be fun.
My only thing, by the time that happens,
yeah.
I don't know if all the Petterssons will still be on Vancouver.
Also true.
And so right now Vancouver has all the Petterssons in the NHL.
Correct.
I think it's realistic the Hughes brothers end up together. I don't know if they will still be there when the Petterssons will still be there if and when that happens. But
that could be.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that covers trades for now as far as trades that have happened.
Yeah.
Did we want to hit some other things, or are we just going to jump straight to...
I'm going to skip
I'll let you lead that. Okay.
I'm going to skip this. I'm going to skip this.
Probably. We always write a lot down, and then we get talking about a lot of things, and we realize if we talked about everything on our page, we'd probably be here for a good few hours. Yeah.
What are we at for time?
We are sitting at 24 minutes on...
24 minutes.
So far on part 2. I'm looking at the camera right here. We got 25 minutes on. Our one camera does cut at half an hour, so I'm going to stand up and cut that at some point.
Well, do we want to do that now so then we can pause and then decide what things we're going to cut out here?
Sure. For the first time in Dump and Chase podcast history, we are taking a second break.
2 breaks.
Wow. We will be back shortly.
In about 1.5 seconds.
Something like that. And just like that, we're back.
Surprise!
Wow. That happened really quick. So we're going to jump straight into talking about the wonderfully unnamed Utah Hockey Club. And
will they remain unnamed?
Potentially.
What are the top 3 names?
Well, okay, so first we're going to start off with that they tried to file a patent to the U.S. Patent Office for Yetis.
Which is the best option.
That is the best option. However, Not possible, because the trademark office denied it because it's too close to the drinkware brand Yeti.
Oh, correction. It would be too confusing. It could cause too much confusion.
Ah, yes.
That was the word. I, too, mix up my hockey teams with my thermoses.
Right, and coolers.
Yeah. Yeah, very confusing.
I would want to go to a Yeti's game drinking out of my Yeti's branded Yeti.
I would like to win a Stanley Cup, watch my team win a Stanley Cup while holding a Stanley Cup. That's not Yeti's, but
win the Stanley Cup and put Yeti on the side.
Yeah.
That would be
your Yeti
fantastic.
Stanley Cup. Yeah.
Not going to happen because that was not allowed. Okay, so the name options are the Utah Mammoth, the Utah Outlaws,
which replaced the Wasatch.
The Wasatch.
Which, in case you didn't know, is
what the frick is a Wasatch?
It's the mountain range by the city.
I did hear about that.
Okay, I too was like, what on earth is a Wasatch?
What is a Wasatch? I had to Google that.
Yeah.
And it's a mountain range in Utah. So, cool. That was ruled out quickly after people said, what in the world is that? So the other option is, well, we said the Outlaws, the Mammoth, and finally the third option.
You know it well.
The Utah Hockey Club. So that's lovely. I hope it's not that.
Yeah.
Though I don't like the Mammoth or the Outlaws.
Oh, really?
I would still prefer the Utah Storm and Mormons, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think so either. I think the Utah Outlaws sounds too minor hockey.
It does.
It sounds too minor hockey. Now, here's where
I don't love the Mammoth either.
My favorite logo, they've released potential logos. My favorite of the potential logos is the Hockey Club one.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite of the 3 logos they released.
All of the logos look like ECHL logos, or those logos that you can create in playing NHL.
Yeah.
As in the video game, I'm talking. Yeah. They all look bad. I'm just going to say it. They're bad.
I think my favorite is the Mammoth.
Okay, that's name you mean. Favorite name.
Favorite name. I don't love the concept logo. I don't know if those are just concepts or final.
I hope they're not final. Remember when Seattle was putting out their potential logos and there was the little poop sock?
Yes, I do remember the poop sock.
Seattle poop sock.
Yeah.
I'll still like my favorite potential NHL logo ever. I don't know why they ever put that out, but I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah.
I think someone should make a Seattle poop sock jersey.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Yeah. If I rank them, I think I would go Mammoth first because I think of the names, it's the best name. I would go Utah Hockey Club next because of the logos, it's the best logo. And
you just said talking about names, though. If we're talking about names...
Just names, it goes Mammoth, Outlaws, Hockey Club.
Hockey
But
Club
if we're talking
default
overall uniform and branding, I would go Mammoth, Hockey Club.
Okay, sure.
Outlaws.
Yeah.
Because Hockey Club, the one benefit you have to that too is you're not rebranding.
Yeah.
You can change your logo and everything, but people who have a Utah Hockey Club jersey, it doesn't become like totally obsolete.
Right.
They still have an accurate jersey. So
well,
there are benefits
if you're a big
to that.
Utah fan, then it's like a one-season, one-off relic, which is kind of cool.
Depends on your... That would be how I view it too as a collector. But
do better. We don't like any of them.
I don't like that name. The Utah Do Better?
The Utah...
I'll stick with Outlaws.
They need to do better. And I think that the Storm and Mormons is a fantastic option and should be widely considered.
Moving on. He has spoken.
That's right. So moving on to a player briefly mentioned earlier in the podcast, Alexander Ovechkin. Witnessing history we are.
Yes, we are.
And also I'm speaking like Yoda.
We were not born when Gretzky still played. We did not witness Gretzky play hockey.
We did not.
He
retired in the year 2000, did he not?
99.
99.
Yeah.
We were not alive when Gretzky had laced up the skates for the last time as a professional in the NHL for the Rangers.
So being able to see the NHL goal record be broken, massive history. It's not new news to anybody.
No.
And so...
We've seen it coming for a while.
Yeah. And I think a few years ago we actually talked about it, wondering if he would break the record.
We did talk about it.
And when he signed his new contract.
Yeah, I can't remember what we said.
I'm guessing we said probably.
I think we said he would probably get it.
As long as he wasn't majorly hurt.
Exactly.
If he didn't break his leg earlier this year... Can we talk about how he broke his leg and only missed like 5 weeks? Going back to our previous conversation.
Insane.
He'd probably already have it this year. In fact, he was on pace to score it against Edmonton.
Yeah.
But that brings me to my next point. Do you want to be the team that he scores the record-breaking goal against? Assuming he'll do it.
Yeah.
Then do you want to be the team and do you want to be the goalie he scores it against?
Well.
Do you want that fame or do you just avoid it as much as possible.
If I'm talking as far as everyone has been yapping on social media about, he's not going to score it against a goalie. It's going to be an empty net goal because everyone thinks he's an empty net merchant, which really bugs me. But I don't think he would score it as an empty netter. I really don't think he would.
No, not unless it was a matter of like, we could lose this game if he doesn't.
That's true.
I think he will take if it could sacrifice if they could lose the game if he doesn't. I think he'll do it.
He would do it. He's not going to lose a game for his record. No, that won't happen. But I do think that like if the opportunity's there, and it's they pulled their goalie, and Ovechkin's on the bench, I don't think he goes out to score it.
I don't think so.
I think he waits, unless it's like the last game of the season. Then he does, obviously.
To get it done this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which last game of the season, I believe, against the Penguins, fun fact.
Ooh. I feel like that should be the game to do it. As far as being the team that it's against, I don't care. Doesn't matter. No. Probably not. Like, because it's going to be a video shown for ages. And, this is the video of when Ovechkin scored beat Gretzky's record. You probably don't want to be the goalie. Or the team, so that's probably what I'm thinking. Okay. But it's not the end of the world if you are either. It's not like, look at you idiots! I don't think it's anything like...
Ovechkin has scored, that's what I have here. He's scored on 179 different goalies in his career, which is the most in NHL history. He passed Jágr for them.
Okay, cool.
So he's scored on plenty of goalies. So you would not be the first.
So,
and he's probably scored on you before.
Yeah, exactly.
But it just happens to be the goal.
Whatever.
But you get to witness history.
I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm fully in support of him getting this record. I think that he's worked really hard for it.
I don't actually like Ovechkin, but I want to see him break it too, just because I want to see history.
Yeah.
And he is the best goal scorer. Gretzky just slid the puck on the ice, and goalies didn't go on their knees, so it was easy.
Well, okay, that's discrediting Gretzky, though, you Oilers fan. Though we have to talk about, do we think this record will be broken in the future if he gets it?
Talk to me in 5 years when Austin Matthews is older.
Okay.
By someone currently in the league, Matthews is only a possibility.
That's correct.
Draisaitl started scoring too late. He's not scoring at an elite enough pace.
McDavid doesn't score
enough. Celebrini, Bedard aren't elite enough goal scorers.
Correct.
Matthews is the only possibility, and Matthews has injury problems.
Yes,
so
he does.
If I said now, I'd say no.
I don't think anyone in the current NHL would beat Ovechkin's record.
And I don't know if we can talk about the future.
Someone will get it in the future.
Yeah.
Someone will.
Yeah, at some point.
I don't doubt it.
Who knows?
The
only unbreakable record that I'm aware of would be Gretzky's points record.
Gretzky's points record.
That's not
true.
going to be touched.
That's not going to be touched, I don't think.
McDavid is the best scorer since Gretzky as far as points. And he'd have to play till he was like Jágr's age to beat it.
What I think is crazy impressive is how Ovechkin has gotten this close and probably will get the record in an NHL where less goals are scored.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Goalies' pads are bigger.
Ooh, that's what I was meaning with my comment about Gretzky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goalies' pads are bigger, less goals are scored. It's a completely different game. It's harder to score goals, and yet here we are, and he's going to get the record.
And he'll do it before he's 40.
And he'll do it before
he's 40. It's not like he's playing till he's 50. Like
the best pure goal scorer the NHL has ever seen, and that's a hill I'll die on.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Okay, this is our last main point.
Yep. Hit us with it.
This is me as an Oilers fan. I've probably talked about this before.
Not in depth.
Yeah. I don't like Connor McDavid.
I know you don't.
I really, really don't. As much as I was just talking about him with his suspension, I'm the only Oilers fan that actively dislikes Connor McDavid.
Everyone hold your pitchforks right now. Hear him out.
He actually agrees with me on some of these ideas, and that's saying something.
Which is very rare. So, hold your fire.
Yeah.
Explain.
The Oilers are a worse team with McDavid on them. I'm going to read you...
I actually don't agree with that, but continue.
Well, I say, okay, McDavid on the team or off, sorry, I'll reword that. If you just removed McDavid, agree, the Oilers are a worse team. But if we were able to replace McDavid with something that we could get for him, we would significantly improve.
Okay. I can get behind that.
That's continue. What I mean. Leon Draisaitl. Top 5 player in the league.
Dangler himself.
Yeah. Top 5 player in the league. That's not debatable, I don't think.
Nope,
not anymore.
You can't debate that.
Where the debate is if he's top 3 or not. He's top 5 for sure. Top 3, you've got...
This season he's top 3.
Yeah. Top 4 are probably McDavid, McKinnon, Matthews, him. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of which one falls in 4. This year, honestly, it might be McDavid or Matthews this year. Matthews has not been as good this year. This season, now this was about 2 weeks ago I took this picture. This was a graphic that showed up while I was watching an Oilers game. Leon Draisaitl in the league, first in goals. He had 34 at the time. He is still first in goals. He's just scored 40.
He did.
Even strength goals, first in the league, 26. That is on an Oilers team where he's been known as, he just scores power play goals.
Power play merchant.
He is first in the league in even strength goals.
Right.
26. He is first in the league in game-winning goals. He's been clutch this year.
Yes.
I'll throw this in there. This isn't on this graphic. Connor McDavid has missed time twice this season, once with injury and once for that suspension.
Yes.
Draisaitl has played his best hockey in those stretches when McDavid is not on the ice. No one can say anymore, it's been a few years since they could, that he is just a product of McDavid.
Right.
He is his own superstar.
I used to say that because he was, but he's outgrown that.
Yeah. And Draisaitl leading the NHL, or he was, in plus minus at that time.
Right.
He's leading the league in plus minus. He's second or third now.
Something like that.
Could Draisaitl win the Maurice Richard and the Selke in the same year?
Possibly. I think that there's probably a decent chance of that. Maybe
they
not.
like to give the Selke to the best offensive defensive player, and so there's a chance. I think Sergei Fedorov is the last person to do that.
It's
in
usually some
95
superstar,
or something
but,
like that. Significant.
Yeah.
Regardless to say, Draisaitl can be the guy in Edmonton without McDavid. Draisaitl can be the guy, and the Oilers will still. It's not like we won't be able to score without him.
Right.
The Oilers need to trade McDavid.
Right.
You heard it here first. Probably first. I don't know if anybody has ever said that before.
I think that's you. The list ends with you.
Unfortunately, I'm not the general manager. But
a lot of Oiler fans would say, fortunately, you're not. But anyway, do tell. Explain.
If we get rid of McDavid, what do we need? What do the Oilers need?
The Oilers need everything but top-end talent.
Top-end talent. We have scoring. We have depth forwards. But we don't have goalie. Skinner is inconsistent. Skinner thrives in an AB situation.
Yes, he does.
Like he's not the backup, but he can play every other.
Yeah.
He thrives in that situation. Or Pickard is a solid backup.
Yeah.
We need another goalie to fill whichever hole.
Yes.
Defense. We have Ekholm. We have Bouchard.
Right.
We have Nurse. Those are all top 4 guys.
You need, aside from Ekholm, another defensive defenseman.
Yes.
Top two.
Ideally a puck moving defensive defenseman.
Yes.
Who can pass well. Bouchard's fine. He makes defensive blunders, but if we have another guy, they'll make up for it.
Yeah.
Bouchard scores enough to make up for it.
Sure.
And then you have Kulak, Emberson, Klingberg filtering in your bottom pair, or whoever, your prospect. Anybody can play your bottom pair.
Sure. So who do you propose then that the Oilers trade McDavid to and get in return for him?
Let's put on our general manager hats.
Okay. Done. Perfect.
Or here you go. There's my general manager.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He flipped his hat backwards for those of you listening.
Yeah, in case you couldn't hear that. So, I've got a few.
You've got a few. Okay, hit me with one.
Okay. Trade Connor McDavid.
Yes. 2.
The Vancouver Canucks.
Oh, no, that's not happening. That is
the
not
divisional
happening.
rivals. This is my least favorite of my options. Okay. I don't know if I even like this trade or not.
Are they trading you the mascot too?
No, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We are trading McDavid and Jeff Skinner. Jeff Skinner wants to play in Edmonton, but it's becoming very clear Edmonton doesn't want him to play here.
Right.
Problem is he has a no move clause, and he wants to play a playoff game, so he's not waiving it. So I don't think this is realistic.
Understandable.
I don't know if I like this return anyways.
Okay.
McDavid and Jeff Skinner to the Canucks for Thatcher Demko.
Okay.
Jake DeBrusk and Elias Pettersson.
And?
You think there should be more?
Picks?
Yeah, okay. That's where I'm wondering, is how high is McDavid's value?
Very!
He's the best. But is a team willing to get rid of every single core player they have to get him?
Not every single, but most of them.
Yeah.
Most organizations would sell you their building too.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. If you can throw, if you can throw another player in there.
Yeah.
Do you go Demko, DeBrusk, Pettersson? Notice I'm not solving our defense problem there.
Right.
Do you get Nikita Zadorov?
Sure. Whatever.
Nikita Zadorov,
it's McDavid.
I think he can play second line. Zadorov probably can play second line. He's probably not your ideal top 4.
Yeah.
But Oilers could use a big guy.
Yeah.
And I think Jake DeBrusk, Thatcher Demko, Elias Pettersson. You're even replacing the offense.
Yeah.
I think, and throw Jeff Skinner in there for probably cap reasons.
Yeah.
you probably have to throw Skinner or like Stuart Skinner or Pickard in there because you're taking a goalie.
Yeah. Okay. Throw Stuart Skinner in there.
Yeah, because Demko will be the guy.
Yeah.
Although actually, I'd rather probably split time with Demko's injury history.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so Pickard.
Okay, so that's never happening.
I don't love that one because I don't know if I like the return on it. It doesn't necessarily solve the problem because you don't get the defenseman and the goalie has injury problems.
Okay. So who do you propose for the next one?
Next one, Nashville Predators.
Predators. Okay, so we trade Connor McDavid to the Predators.
Getting UC Saros.
Okay.
That's solving the goalie problem.
There you go.
Goalie problem gone.
Taken care of.
We're not getting a defenseman in this case. McDavid and Stuart Skinner. So not Jeff Skinner.
Okay.
Getting UC Saros.
Yeah.
Jonathan Marchessault.
Okay.
An unprotected first for this year.
Yeah.
Nashville is currently not in a playoff spot.
Yeah.
So that's a high value pick.
Okay.
And then either a second or a good prospect. Not a great, but a good prospect or a second with an unprotected first, UC Saros and Jonathan Marchessault.
I have a feeling that you're undervaluing McDavid here. Based on the sheer scale of what a superstar he is.
I agree, but
they can get a lot more than I think what you're saying.
I don't know. I don't think we can get more good. Like you could probably throw more picks and stuff.
Yeah, I'm saying more picks.
I don't know. That would totally depend on the value at the time of the trade. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not including like all the thirds and the fourths that you could get.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just using big pieces because that small stuff totally depends on the mood the general manager's in or the current market
future
at the time of the trade.
That kind of stuff.
Is it a deadline trade? Is it a draft day trade?
Yeah.
Is it like when is the trade happening? Those sort of things.
Yeah.
So like I'm focusing what are the big pieces we could get. I don't think you can get more than a Saros and a Marchessault and an unprotected first.
You don't think so, hey?
For McDavid. No, from Nashville.
All right.
I don't think you can get
all right.
that.
What else do you got?
Because it'll give Nashville will be giving up too much. They get McDavid, but McDavid can only provide so much.
Right.
If you give up all your D,
but at the same time, he's Connor McDavid.
UC Saros doesn't just get replaced overnight either.
No, he doesn't.
And so...
And they got rid of Askarov, so...
Yeah. And so... But again, for that reason right there, I don't think this is realistic either. Well, none of this is realistic.
No, it isn't.
Because they just got rid of Askarov. They're clearly committed to Saros.
They are.
And so...
So that doesn't happen, but I like what you're thinking. Okay, do you have another
third
one?
favorite.
Yeah.
I've got 3 left.
You have 3 more.
Okay, this one to the Jets.
Okay.
Connor Hellebuck.
Ooh.
Neil Pionk.
Yeah.
Adam Lowry or a better forward and throw a pick in there as well.
I think you need a couple picks in there, but
for Hellebuck.
But he's older.
Yeah, that's true. That is the downside.
Hellebuck is aging.
And the other thing I considered, if it's not enough, instead of Pionk, do you get Josh Morrissey? Can you get Morrissey and Hellebuck?
Oh, I bet you could.
And Lowry, or is that too much? Because if you can get Hellebuck, you solve the goalie problem.
Yeah.
It's right now, but we need to win right now.
Yeah, you do.
Morrissey, we solve the top 4 problem. Yeah. Lowry, we solve a defensive forward problem and a size problem. And we eliminate a really annoying player we have to play against. And then we would trade McDavid there with Stuart Skinner or maybe a 3rd or a 4th round pick or something like that.
All right. What's the next one?
Yeah. This is my favorite one. I'm saving my second favorite one for last.
So this is your favorite trade
scenario?
This is my favorite sending trade Connor McDavid out of Edmonton.
Yes. Calvin Pickard.
Okay.
Evander Kane for cap reasons. He's hurt anyway. Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
To the Boston Bruins.
Okay.
We're moving out of division and conference.
Out of
conference all the other ones, 2 Central teams and a Pacific team. So far it's all bit, which makes it even more unrealistic.
Right.
Here's out of the conference, so we don't have to play against them.
Only
with
twice
Pickard and Evander Kane.
Yeah.
We get Jeremy Swayman, who's been bad this year, but I think that's just because Boston's bad.
Yeah.
And I think Swayman would also thrive in a 1A, 1B.
He would. Because he clearly did with Olmark.
Yeah, exactly. Swayman, Skinner, rotating back and forth.
I think that would be deadly.
Swayman, Charlie McAvoy.
He's your 1A, and Skinner's your 1B.
Yeah, exactly. Charlie McAvoy.
Okay.
Easy partner for Darnell Nurse.
Yes.
Nurse and McAvoy, best defensive pairing in the league.
Okay.
Bouchard, Ekholm, incredible.
Yeah.
Kulak, Emberson, rotate Klingberg in there with an injury or as needed.
Okay.
All of a sudden, we have one of the best decors in the league.
Yes, you do.
As well as arguably the best goaltending tandem.
Okay, so you're getting
still have Draisaitl, and then we get, I haven't decided which I want more, either Brad Marchand or Pavel Zacha. Pavel Zacha would be a depth player.
Brad Marchand for the memes.
Yeah. Marchand's old is my problem.
Yes, he is.
And he'll still be expensive.
You wouldn't want him.
Yeah. And
I think you would go with Zacha.
Yeah. Pavel Zacha, If you need more, you just add picks after that.
You would get picks on top of that. Okay.
Swayman, McAvoy, Zacha. We are better off with Swayman, McAvoy, and Zacha than we are with Pickard, Kane, and McDavid.
Right.
I think that's easy.
I can say that
because
too.
look at the teams who won the cup.
Yeah.
It's teams who are well balanced. The Oilers are not well balanced.
That's right. Star power, pure top end star power doesn't win cups. I'll say it. Said it once and I'll say it again.
Yeah. And the cap is going up a significant amount over the next 3 years,
right?
Like over 20 million. But the rumor is that the conservative amount for McDavid's next contract, so not next season but the one after, is over 20 million.
Really?
Per year.
Huh.
On his next contract.
Yeah.
We can't afford that.
No, you can't.
Like, even if the cap goes up, okay, we technically could, but we would be just putting ourselves back in cap trouble, and we'd be the only team in cap trouble.
Yeah.
Which would be really bad.
That would be unfortunate for you guys.
Yeah, and so I think it has to happen. You have one or two, I think, as well, don't you?
I have one that I like
and
quite a bit.
I'm going to save my last one.
And I know you're going to say that it's too much because you have been undervaluing him. Connor McDavid goes to the Detroit Red Wings.
Okay. There's a few players I really like on the Red Wings, so I like this.
The Oilers receive in return Dylan Larkin.
Okay.
Lucas Raymond.
I would love that.
Lucas Raymond is a big piece in this.
Yeah.
And left defenseman Moritz Seider. Along with 2 first-round picks.
I agree it's overvalued. I don't think the Red Wings would ever do it.
I know you don't think so, but I think that the Red Wings might move heaven and earth to make that happen, and that might be what it takes. Because that solves your D problem, gives you a solid right-wing young guy in Raymond, and a centerman to replace McDavid.
It doesn't solve our goalie problem. But,
no, it doesn't.
If our D is more solid, it may make Skinner better.
So, okay, you want to solve your goalie problem, trade away a couple of those picks for a goalie.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah, that's true. And also, cap wouldn't be a massive problem anymore, or as massive, and you throw Evander Kane in there, it helps.
Sure.
And the cap's going up. And so you could sign a goalie maybe.
Yeah.
And so
I think so.
I love it for the Oilers. I just don't know if the Red Wings would do it.
Oh, I think they would.
Yeah.
I think you find that they would. Almost 9 times out of 10 when a star player is traded, the team that gets the star player wins the trade.
Except for the Rantanen and Nietzsche's one, possibly.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But that was random.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. What's your other one?
Okay. My last one.
Your last one, sorry.
This one's more for the memes, but as I talked about it, I really liked it.
1-for-1 Connor McDavid for Tom Wilson.
No.
Ah, dang it.
Trading him to the Calgary Flames.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby. That's never going to happen.
Will never happen. The Oilers wouldn't do it even if they won the trade, I don't think.
Can we give you the Saddle Dome too?
No, you can keep that.
I love the Saddle Dome, but we don't. Anyway.
It's my favorite rink, actually.
It looks so good.
Yeah. We get Dustin Wolf.
Okay.
We're giving you Stuart Skinner as well.
Okay.
Or Pickard, one or the other.
All right.
Dustin Wolf.
Yep.
Rasmus Anderson.
Okay.
Mikhail Backlund.
How did you say his name?
Mikhail Backlund? Michael Backlund?
Michael Backlund.
Sorry. He's Swedish, so I just assume it's pronounced differently.
I've only ever heard it said Michael Backlund, but anyway.
I don't know.
That could be right, but I've only ever heard it Michael Backlund.
Yeah, so
anyway.
Wolf, Anderson, Backlund. I love Backlund.
Oh, I love Backlund.
I think he's amazing.
It's because you're a Nuge fan.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just a lesser version of Nuge.
Yeah. Connor Zary.
Yeah.
Martin Pospisil.
Oh, I don't want to send Pospisil away. I love Pospisil.
And a first.
Okay. That's more realistic than any of them that you've done aside from the fact that it's the Flames.
Pospisil, Zary, Backlund, Anderson, Wolf, and a first. Anderson's the only star player in that list.
Yeah.
Wolf could become one.
Wolf will be, I think.
Yeah, and Zary could be a really good player. I don't think he'll be a star. Backlund is super solid defensively. Pospisil is a physical presence we could use.
Yep.
He's not incredibly valued because he's so injury prone. He's one concussion away from retirement already.
Pospisil?
Yeah. But I like him.
Yeah.
And then throw a first in there on top of it. It'll never happen because it's Flames, but I wanted to do a Calgary one. As I started doing it, I was like, I think I like this.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Cool.
You heard it here first. Connor McDavid needs to be traded.
You've heard it here. He needs to go.
It has to happen. The Oilers won't win a cup with McDavid. We had our chance last year.
You did. And it went.
Yep. And you know what? It was proof. Game 7, we're losing by 1. McDavid played like 6 minutes out of the last 10 and was exhausted.
Yep.
That we have to be a team that can send our third line out and trust them to.
Yep. You have to be.
And we didn't. And McDavid was exhausted. And McDavid, it was the worst last 3 minutes of a game I think I saw the Oilers play all season.
Star
and
power.
McDavid was exhausted.
Star power in playoffs only works in the NBA.
Yeah.
As in relying on pure star power.
Yeah.
The NBA can do it. No other sport league, as far as I'm concerned, can.
Yeah.
Okay, so for kicks and giggles, I've asked the wisdom chat GPT for a trade scenario in which Connor McDavid leaves Edmonton. Here's what they came up with. McDavid goes away to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Of course.
Yes.
I thought about it and I was like, no, the Leafs don't have anything that I want. They are the exact same team as Edmonton. Problem solved.
The Oilers receive...
I'm assuming Matthews.
Austin Matthews.
Woo.
William Nylander.
Okay.
2 first-round picks. Nick Robertson.
That seems really... Given everything else, Nick Robertson seems random. You get 2 superstar forwards, 2 first, and Nick Robertson.
Hang on.
Like, no offense to Nick Robertson, but when you compare him to Matthews and Nylander and 2 firsts, he's not worth that much.
I'm going to ask it once more for another one, I think. I'm going to voice the text here.
Just a second. I want to say something about that.
Yeah.
I would be okay if that went through. First of all, that's massive overpayment for McDavid.
Yes.
You won't disagree with that.
I won't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Matthews
and McDavid, that's almost 1 for 1.
Yeah.
You add a bit to Matthews.
Yeah.
Nylander and Matthews alone is too much, I think.
I would agree.
But we get that. That's amazing. We can just flip the firsts for defenseman and forward. And to goalie. And
I would agree.
Don't have the cap space for that trade either. But
I'm gonna get it to create another trade scenario. Create a trade scenario in which Connor McDavid is traded away from the Edmonton Oilers. What does ChatGPT come up with? Okay.
Is it the Leafs again?
No.
Okay, good.
The Rangers.
Okay, I thought about doing this too because they have Shesterkin.
Oh, I don't like this at all.
Is it good for the Oilers or bad for the Oilers?
Bad for the Oilers. It's an underpay. Oilers receive Lafreniere.
Okay, he's been good this year. He's finally actually starting to develop.
Yeah.
But
Keandre Miller.
He's been disappointing this year.
A first and a second.
That's awful. That's it. That ChatGPT's doing that based off of draft pedigree.
Okay. Do it again. I'm going to get another one because this is fun.
Okay, that was so bad though. I wouldn't.
Oh, the Leafs again.
I wouldn't trade Nugent Hopkins for that.
No. Another one.
Should,
yeah, you
I
should.
Wouldn't.
I know you wouldn't. Another one for the Leafs. Nylander, Rasmus Sandin, a first and a second. ChatGPT has no consistency. In the first one, they were sending away Austin Matthews.
Due to the Flames.
Oh,
yes.
Last
one. Trade McDavid to the Flames. See how different it is.
Do another trade scenario, but this time to the Calgary Flames. Oh, this will be fun. Okay, ChatGPT's outdated. ChatGPT's very outdated.
What? Mika Kiprusoff?
No, not that bad. The Flames receive Connor McDavid. The Oilers receive Matthew Tkachuk.
Oh, yeah. That's
Noah Hannafin.
I would like Hannafin.
A first and a second.
That's still not enough.
Neither of those guys are Flames.
Yeah. First and a second for McDavid. Let's get it done.
Okay. Anyway, so that's some fun with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And why we think McDavid should probably go away from Edmonton.
Yeah. Follow us on our Instagram, YouTube, whatever.
You can roast us. We don't care.
Roast us. Give us your own trade scenarios.
Yeah,
or tell us that we're
great.
stupid for wanting to trade McDavid.
Give us your trade scenarios in the comments below.
Yeah.
Okay, we should wrap this up pretty quick here. I think we're running pretty long. We might end up cutting some out of this episode if we're honest, but let's keep going.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to look away from your laptop. For those who don't know, at the end of all our episodes, we always have a fun fact that we share with you guys and a bit of Leafs slander. Because we cheer for the Oilers and the Leafs. We both...
Wait, what?
Oilers and the Flames.
I am not a Leafs fan.
Oilers and Flames fans, we both hate the Leafs.
Yes, we do.
You can probably look back early in our podcast to find out why. We don't have time to explain that right now.
It's one thing we can agree on.
Yes. So we always give a little bit of Leaf slander right at the end.
Yes.
Leaf slander for this. You might know this first piece of information.
Okay.
Matthews last year won the Maurice Richard Trophy.
Yes, he did.
He was the first Leaf ever to win the Maurice Richard Trophy.
Really?
But the Maurice Richard Trophy's only been here since 1998. So it hasn't been here for super long.
Okay.
It's like, okay, you'd think they've had some good players, but since 98, really it has only been the last 10 years they've been good.
Sure.
But no Leaf has ever won the Norris Trophy.
Really?
And the Norris Trophy was invented in 1954. That's before... That was still an original 6 days.
That's embarrassing.
When Leafs were one of only 6 teams in the league, they still couldn't get a defenseman.
They have no good defensemen.
Because they have never had a good defenseman.
Oh, that's just comical. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's a good bit of information there for Leafs fans.
Yeah. And your fun fact for the day.
Yes.
This will be fun for ECHL fans. We mentioned ECHL logos. Now we're talking about ECHL, more ECHL.
Welcome to the Dump and Chase podcast, where we like to talk about the ECHL a lot, I guess.
Yeah. And we will probably have exhausted all of our knowledge on the ECHL in this episode.
That's where it ends.
Orlando Solar Dogs or Sun Dogs or whatever, they have the best logo.
Yeah, it's the Sun Dogs.
Solar Bears. It's the Solar Bears.
Oh.
It's a play on polar bears. Oh. The Orlando Solar Bears. Anyways,
I've
great
never
logo.
seen a solar bear in my life.
Yeah.
Especially in Orlando.
Yeah.
Anyway.
With his goal this month.
Yes.
Alex Nedeljkovic.
Okay.
Goalie, Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Became the first goalie in history to score a goal in the ECHL, AHL, and NHL. With his goal this month.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Only
awesome.
goalie ever to score in all 3 leagues.
So what you're saying is that he's the greatest goalie
Goal scorer
in hockey history. Because he
sure.
scored the most goals. Because goals are all that counts in the NHL.
Oh, yeah.
In hockey,
100%, especially for goalie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goalie, goals in the name.
Martin Brodeur, Patrick Waugh, Alex Nedeljkovic.
Way better.
Yeah.
That's your Mount Rushmore.
Top 3. Yeah.
Need one more, and that's your Mount Rushmore.
Throw in Logan Thompson, because he's been incredible this year, too. That was a piece of information we cut out.
That's true.
Logan Thompson, incredible.
There's your Mount Rushmore of NHL goalies.
Mic drop.
And I think with that, we're probably just going to close this episode out, wouldn't you say?
I'd say so.
Well, follow us on our socials. We're going to be posting this kind of everywhere.
We Dump and Chase pod.
Dump and Chase.
It's been a while since I looked at it.
Yeah, I haven't opened up that Instagram account in a while. But we're going to be posting stuff there. We're going to actually probably be doing reels at some point. I've just committed to that now, verbally. So we better do it.
It's happening.
Full form, now in glorious video. I know my lighting wasn't the best in this episode, but we'll get that dialed in just yet. Going to go up on YouTube. And so if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for making it all the way through. And glad that you're watching and getting to see our faces. Maybe unfortunate for you. Anyway, you can find this podcast wherever you find your podcasts. I'm sure you know that by now. We're on multiple platforms. So continue to give us a listen. Drop a comment on Instagram. Let us know what you like, what you don't. If there's anything you want to see in the future, let us know. We don't get any feedback, basically. Not yet.
You could be the first.
You might be the first.
Actually, that's not true. I have one person who's messaged me and said that they really like that podcast.
That's true. And I kind of felt really bad for that one person when we stopped making them. Yep. I felt a little guilty. But,
and where's our one listener? Was it Belarus? We had
a couple listeners in Australia, if I recall correctly.
There was some European.
I think it was in Brussels.
Belgium.
Brussels and Belgium. We had one. I'm not sure if you're still around, but if you are, you legend. Please share this with wherever and
in case you forgot, we actually have a giveaway going on our Instagram.
We do!
For a Colorado Avalanche jersey.
That's true.
So
once we hit...
check that out. I think it's 50 or 100 followers. I can't remember which.
I'm going to fact check that right now so that you know to go follow us and you can be entered in to win a jersey. This jersey that our wonderful Ben is so gloriously modeling on our Instagram, we are giving away once we hit 100 Instagram followers. 100. Currently, we're at 42.
Boom.
Not quite halfway there, but you can get us there. So if you want a chance to win that jersey, that's actually a pretty good shot of you winning. If you think about that, 1 in 100, and a lot of those followers won't even be entered because it's probably us.
Yeah.
So you'll have less than a 1 in 100 chance of winning that jersey. So go drop us a follow. And unless you have anything else to say, Ben?
I don't think so. Thanks for listening.
And we will catch you next time. Take care, everybody.